Welcome you to the deep dive. This is where we take those sources that really grab your attention and, well, we explore them together, trying to find those deeper insights.
Exactly.
And today, we're diving into something really quite special. Session 65 from the Law of One material. We're going question by question.
It's a great session.
Think of it as like a guided exploration into some core ideas, planetary evolution, what these wanderers are all about, and, what it means to seek truth, especially when things feel like they're changing fast.
And for anyone new to this, the Law of One comes from channeled sessions with an entity called Ra through LL research.
Right.
And what people often find compelling is this, well, consistently positive and really insightful view of the universe and our place in it. That's the vibe we'll be exploring today.
Okay, let's get into it then. Session 65. It starts, as they often do, with the condition of the instrument, Carla.
Yes, the questioner asks about her state vital energy, physical energy. Probably comes back straight away. Vital energies are stable, as before, but the physical energy, that's greatly distorted towards weakness. They mention an arthritic condition.
Yeah, it's striking how open they are about these physical challenges, isn't it? It's not glossed over.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And it highlights the sheer effort involved in this kind of work.
Definitely. Ra also mentions the ongoing psychic attack, but emphasizes that it's being managed.
Right, because of the instrument's fidelity, her commitment, and the support of the group.
It really paints a picture of dedication, doesn't it? Resilience.
It absolutely does.
Uh-huh.
It shows the commitment needed from everyone involved.
Okay, question 2. The questioner senses like an intuition about increased seeking happening soon.
Yeah, they suggest it's because people are becoming more aware of, and this is a great phrase, creation as it is opposed to the creation of man.
Interesting distinction.
And this awareness might lead to a kind of reorientation, maybe triggered by some catalyst of a unique nature.
And Ra's response is quite nuanced, isn't it? Not just a simple yes or no.
Exactly. Rotha says, the generalities of expression can never be completely correct, which is wise.
It is.
Then they give this wonderful analogy,
Yeah.
like facing a hole in the curtain,
Ah, yes, the hole in the curtain.
and through it, you might glimpse the window beyond for the first time.
So disruptions, unexpected things, they can crack open our usual view.
Precisely. They create these openings for deeper questions, a search for, well, fundamental truths.
That makes sense. It's often when things get shaken up that we start asking the big questions.
And Rod adds that this tendency, this increased seeking, is actually probable right now
Why probable?
because of active possibility-probability vortices at this point in space-time. Think of them like currents of potential futures.
Okay, so the energetic weather, so to speak, makes more seeking likely.
That's a good way to put it. Likely, but not, set in stone. Free will is always key.
Always. Okay, question 3 builds on this. It asks about the wanderers and harvested third density folks here now. Is it a privilege?
Yes.
A benefit?
The idea being that with more seeking happening, there are more chances to actually do the service they came here for.
Makes sense.
Was that their plan? Ra confirms it. That was the intention before they even incarnated. Wanderers, these beings from more harmonious places, volunteered for this.
To help during this shift.
Exactly. But, and this is crucial, Ra adds a caveat.
Oh.
Dysfunction or difficulty integrating with, the way things are on this planet can actually get in the way of the service they intended.
So even with the best intentions, it's not always easy for them to fulfill their purpose here.
Not at all. It highlights the real challenges they face, adapting to third density life.
That's a really important point. Okay, question 4 shifts gears. It's an observation the questioner notices Ra is speaking more slowly.
And asks why, yeah.
What's Ra's explanation?
It's delivered with, well, a lot of care. Ra says the instrument is weak physically, even though her vital energy is strong. There's a fragility compared to usual, partly because of the ongoing pain, which has a weakening effect. It shows that connection between physical state and the energy flow.
And what really struck me was Ra saying they're intentionally using an even more narrow band channel.
Yes, to avoid harming or straining the instrument.
It just speaks volumes about the respect and the precision involved in this communication.
Absolutely. The care for the channel is paramount. It's a core principle.
Okay, question 5. The questioner tries to figure out why conditions are better for service now.
They suggest 2 things. 1, the polarization happening because of seniority by vibration, people sort of sorting themselves out vibrationally.
Right.
And 2, the influx of wanderers bringing this more spiritually oriented mindset.
And Ra's take?
A simple confirmation. This is correct.
So the overall vibe of the planet, influenced by both inner evolution and these incoming souls, really does create the potential.
Yes, it shapes the atmosphere for growth and service opportunities.
Got it. Now, question 6. This gets into the coming changes as we move towards fourth density.
Right. Physical Earth changes the heating effect and also more paranormal activities.
And the assumption is both will spur more seeking.
That's the questioner's thought. But Ra offers a really important correction here.
What's the correction?
Ra says the paranormal stuff isn't designed to increase seeking. It's more like a natural side
A
effect
side effect of what?
of individuals whose own vibration allows them to connect with intelligent infinity. It's a manifestation.
Ah, okay. So it's not the purpose of those events.
Exactly. Whether those people use those abilities for service, that's their free will choice.
So what is the main catalyst for seeking, according to Ra here?
It's the challenges and frankly, the distress that comes with the physical Earth changes the malfunctioning of the physical rhythms of the planet.
Facing those tangible shifts makes people search for answers.
That's the idea. And then Ra adds another layer, the potential for conflict. Those probability-possibility vortices spiraling towards, well, war. Not just nuclear, but conventional too.
War as a catalyst for seeking. That seems counterintuitive.
It does, but think about it.
Yeah.
Times of major conflict, they shake everything up. They force people to confront big questions about life, freedom, meaning.
I see. It disrupts the status quo profoundly.
Exactly. Which leads right into question 7. How could conventional war actually provide these opportunities?
With Ra's scenario.
They mention the possibility of widespread guerrilla warfare and the stark contrast between ideals, freedom versus control, fascism versus social ownership.
That conflict itself forces contemplation.
Yes, on the very nature of freedom. Ra suggests big destruction of sites, and people might be less likely than other kinds of conflict.
Okay.
And in that struggle, the light of freedom keeps burning in those capable of holding it.
And even if people can't outwardly express that love of freedom.
The inner seeking can still take root. Ra mentions the brothers and sisters of sorrow, maybe wanderers or others, remembering their deeper purpose in such times.
So even in darkness, there's potential for inner growth. Unexpectedly.
It's a powerful idea.
Question 8 follows up. Could this potential war be more widespread than past ones? Affect more people globally?
Ra confirms, yes, that's a possibility, probability.
And adds something quite chilling.
Very much so. Mentions experimentation with psychotronic group of devices.
To do what?
Alter wind and weather. Potentially cause famine.
Wow. That feels incredibly relevant today, doesn't it?
It really does. Ra suggests, if successful, this could lead to a kind of bloodless invasion by Russian forces into valuable areas.
But notes that the listener's culture, American presumably, wouldn't likely surrender easily that way.
Right. It paints a complex, challenging picture.
Okay, so question 9 brings these threads together. The dual catalysts of Earth changes and war, and the difficulty of prophecy, referencing Edgar Cayce.
Yeah, the question is basically, which comes first?
Yeah.
And how does prophecy even work?
And Ra gives that great analogy.
The shopper in the store, yes. All the different food items are the possibility, probability vortices.
And Ra can't know which items we, humanity, will choose.
Exactly. Free will again. And Casey's prophecies. They focused on the biggest item on the shelf at his time. The Earth changes vortex.
But maybe didn't see other potential items as clearly.
That's the implication. Ra uses the image of different amounts of breakfast cereals. Some possibilities are stronger, like having more boxes on the shelf.
So breakfast, some kind of catalyst is certain.
Right. But the specific menu, the way it unfolds, that's our collective choice.
That's actually quite empowering in a way. The future isn't totally fixed.
Definitely not. And Ross stresses that prophecy shows possibilities, not certainties. Timing is especially tricky to pin down from that broader time-space view.
So the type of possibility revealed is more important than the when.
That's the key takeaway, yes.
Right.
Focus on the potential, not the date.
Okay. Question 10 follows up on the confusion around Earth changes prophecies. Lots of predictions, different interpretations. Does that dilute the catalyst?
Ross says the sheer strength of the probability vortex for Earth's shift into fourth density makes it unsurprising that many people with time-space access perceive it.
Ah, the disproportionately large amount of this cold cereal again.
Exactly. But each prophecy comes through a unique filter, the channel's own vibration level perspective.
Leading to biases and distortions in what comes through.
which explains why we don't get one single, perfectly clear picture. It's inherent in the process.
That makes sense. So, question 11 asked about wanderers. Was one of their goals before coming here to specifically reduce this kind of confusion?
Ra clarifies, their main aim is always to serve, to lighten the planet's vibration overall.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't necessarily set specific intentions for situations that hadn't even happened yet when they decided to incarnate.
So they're more responsive, offering light and love where it's needed and sought?
Yes, exactly. Not following a rigid plan for every possible future scenario.
Hmm.
More adaptable.
Okay. Question 12 asks about how wanderers help in, like, physical or energetic ways. The questioner uses an electrical analogy,
Like charging a battery or electrical polarity.
and Ra says,
This is correct. The mechanism is as stated, a direct confirmation.
wow.
Ra then elaborates that each wanderer brings unique talents, biases from their home density, special
A
skills
whole toolkit of pre-incarnative abilities.
being expressed here now.
Mm-hmm.
And Ra outlines three basic functions once they manage to pierce that veil of forgetting.
What are they?
One, they double the planetary love and light just by being here and anchoring it.
Okay.
Two, they can act as beacons, like shepherds guiding those who are seeking.
Right.
And three, they offer specialized service based on their unique gifts, maybe wisdom from fifth density or just passively radiating love from fourth or sixth density.
So a diverse range of contribution.
Absolutely. And then Ra adds something incredibly important, especially given all the talk of challenges.
What's that?
That no matter what possibilities are swirling, there is always one container in that store of peace, love, light, and joy.
Always available.
Always. Even if harmony seems like a small probability, turning away from that inner container means forgetting the infinite potential of right now.
And Rack even says planetary harmony, though not probable, is always possible in a strong moment of inspiration.
Yes, it's this constant reminder of our inherent potential for positive change. Hugely empowering.
It really is. Okay, shifting focus with question 13, how common are mixed harvests in the universe?
Where planets graduate both positive and negative souls at the end of a cycle.
Yeah.
Ra gives some fascinating cosmic statistics, roughly 10% negative harvest, 60% positive, 30% mixed.
And crucially,
Nearly all those mixed harvests lean positive. A predominantly negative harvest is almost unheard of.
that puts our situation in a much broader context, doesn't it? The overall universal trend seems positive.
It strongly suggests that yes.
So, question 14 asks why it's so hard for positive souls to get harvested on a very negative planet,
Ra's answer is simple but profound.
which is
To polarize positively, you need a certain degree of self-determination. Free will again.
on a heavily controlled negative world, maybe that free choice towards love is suppressed or impossible.
That seems to be the implication. Self-determination is key for positive growth.
Makes sense. Question 15. Does the intense catalyst at the end of a cycle, especially a mixed one like ours, potentially,
Yeah.
increase the number of harvestable souls?
The questioner assumes the added pressure pushes more people over the line, basically.
Does it?
Ra confirms mixed harvests do usually involve more intense catalysts, like Earth changes, which does intensify seeking.
Okay.
And the Confederation wants to serve those seeking more intensely because of this. But
But
Ra deliberately avoids predicting numbers, says focusing on counting souls is without virtue.
the focus remains on service, not just results or quotas.
Exactly. It's about assisting the seeking, wherever it leads, not tallying the outcome. Consistent humility there.
Very much so. 16 asks if this added catalyst is basically the planet's own consciousness acting on itself.
Like how an individual body might manifest illness due to inner imbalance.
Yeah, is the planet doing something similar on a macro scale?
Ra's answer, you are quite correct.
Wow. So the idea of a collective planetary consciousness influencing its own experience is validated.
Strongly.
Okay, 17 takes this idea even further. Can we see a whole solar system or even a galaxy as a kind of entity?
Is that a valid perspective?
What does Ra say?
That has some validity, but it's sort of beyond our normal third density understanding.
But they offer an
A
analogy.
beautiful one.
Yeah.
Our fourth density positive Earth, when it emerges, is like a child inheriting the social memory complex, the collective wisdom of its parents, the third density positive beings.
Okay.
But from that higher fourth density view, the relationship with the Logos, our son, isn't parent-child, it's creator to creator.
We are all aspects of the creator mirroring the sun, which is also the creator.
Exactly. It's about recognizing The logos, the creative principle, everywhere, seeing parts of the creator throughout creation.
And sensing those higher parents, guiding planetary evolution through intuition.
Yes, this mind-informing intuition. Ra says this happens countless times throughout the evolution of the whole creation. A vast, interconnected process.
Truly mind-expanding stuff. Okay, back to Wanderers with 18. If a sixth density wanderer starts activating higher bodies here, does the forgetting happen in sections? Like parts of memory come back bit by bit?
Ra's answer is very direct.
Just. Okay then. So 19 follows up. Why do wanderers forget when harvested folks activating fourth density don't seem to lose memory in the same way?
Good question. Ra gives two reasons.
First.
Differences in the actual genetic link between the mind-body-spirit and the cells. Third density versus the integrated third-fourth density body.
Okay, a biological difference.
And second, protecting free will. Wanderers have to volunteer for the full third density genetic package, including the forgetting mechanism.
To avoid unfairly influencing third density choices.
Precisely. If they came in with full powers and memory, like God's walking among us, it would override our free will. It would be an infringement.
So forgetting is a necessary sacrifice for ethical service.
Yes, though Ray notes it can be penetrated. They can remember who they are and why they came.
And those new fourth density people showing abilities.
That's mostly from their current state of being, their present experience, not necessarily detailed past life recall, though there are exceptions.
It really highlights the commitment and limitations the wanderers accept.
Immense commitment.
Okay, question 20 shifts to the pyramids. The resonating chamber, did it help an adept meet the self?
Ray uses the powerful symbolism of burial and resurrection.
How so?
Inside, the person symbolically dies to self, confronts loss, maybe fears, but through that, realizes an essential gain, a deeper truth about their being. They emerge transformed, a new and risen being.
So it facilitated deep inner work transformation.
That was the design, yes.
21 connects us to shedding illusions. Is that symbolic death, like letting go of third density desires, ego stuff, and gaining the desire for pure service?
The questioner makes that link.
And Ra.
It's perceptive. That was the purpose. Shedding the self-serving to embrace service was key to the King's Chamber's effectiveness.
Wow! So that transformation was the goal.
A core part of the initiation process, it seems.
Okay, 22 asks how the chamber actually did this. What were the mechanics?
Ra says it worked on both mind and body.
Oh.
Mind, sensory deprivation, plus the deep archetypal reactions to being essentially buried alive symbolically.
Powerful psychological triggers.
Definitely. And body. The person's own mental state interacted with the physical properties of the chamber, the materials, their electrical and piezoelectric qualities.
Mind and matter working together.
Exactly. And then Ra signals this will be the last full question for this session.
Right. Which leads to the final brief question, 23. Just asking if the group can do anything more for Carla's comfort or to improve the contact.
A caring question, as always.
And Ray's response.
Reassuring. Says the instrument is well supported, all is well.
But acknowledges the pain.
Gently, yes. Notes her distortion towards pain, mentions she might dislike sharing it, but subconsciously accepts their help, affirms the group is conscientious. Everything's aligned.
A gentle closing.
And then the final farewell, rejoicing in the love and light of the one infinite creator, Adonai.
Session 65. Wow, that was quite a journey through some deep territory, wasn't it?
It really covers a lot, from personal challenges to cosmic patterns.
We touched on, this potential rise in seeking, driven by planetary changes, maybe even conflict.
And the role of wanderers, their intentions, their challenges, their ways of helping.
Plus that whole fascinating discussion about prophecy, not fixed, but potentials, possibilities.
The shopper in the store analogy really sticks.
It does. And the idea that Earth changes and other catalysts are almost like the planet's consciousness working on itself.
And that glimpse into higher density perspectives. Seeing the sun as creator, ourselves as creator. Interconnectedness.
Absolutely. For you, our listener, maybe think about what resonated most from all that.
Perhaps it's that reminder Ra gives, even amidst all the difficult possibilities.
A container.
Yes. That container of peace, love, light, and joy that's always within us, always accessible, no matter what's happening outside.
That feels like a really vital anchor point right now.
Definitely.
So as we close this deep dive, maybe a thought to carry with you. How does understanding these different potentials, these possibility-probability vortices, actually impact the choices you make right here, right now? Does knowing the future isn't set in stone change how you engage with the present moment?
Hmm. That's a great question to ponder. How do we navigate uncertainty while staying connected to that inner peace?
Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of Session 65. We hope you continue your own deep dives into whatever material calls to your own seeking.
And always remember, in the spirit of the law of one, we are all connected. Namaste, I am you, and you are me.